barely sideways, hangs onto it in the trial.
Oh, and there's a crash.
And there's Sanchez. He can't hang on. Caution out for the second time today, first time for incident. And I said Sanchez can't hang on, but boy, he brought it around in a much better position than I thought he would. The 99 Ben Rhodes, the 77 is Chase Purdy.
There's Sanchez. You can see damage on that right side, left front. I'm going to tell you what, Connor Zilich did a nice job avoiding major contact.
And again, you know, it's relative to Taylor Gray trying to get back in line, but he didn't do anything wrong.
No.
He had to be somewhere.
And it just disrupted things at the front of that pack. And we saw how on the edge of control everyone was anyway. He just tries to squeeze down. Is that Stephen Parsons in the Pop Sales truck? Squeeze down in front of Stephen. They got by with that, but that just tells you how disruptive things were. And as we go up toward the front of the battle, you can see Sanchez and Zilich squeezing together. Johnny Sauter squeezes through on the outside with Ben Rhodes and Chase Purdy into the wall. I just feel like if you watch.
There's another view of Matt Mills and Stephen getting together. Nice save by Matt Mills after that contact.
Zilich just gets into the back of the two. But watch them both just slide along. Guys slipping by on the outside. I believe those trucks are both repairable, and we know how important this draft is. They could get right back in this game, but I think that's a mistake by Zilich. A little bit more closing run than I think he thought he had on Sanchez, and he put him right into the grand end finger.
You know, Michael, he may have been pushed by the 19 of Christian Eckes.
Let's see what Daniel Dye saw. Look at this.
Had a truck go down through the grass with a nice save.
Brett Holmes in the 32, right there.
Boy, Enfinger was really fortunate as well.
I mean, Zilich and Sanchez started that mess, and I believe they can repair those trucks. We'll see. A little bit more damage on that left side. A lot of things going on at pit road.
Watch that white truck right there. Norm Benning, he gets turned around.
Stephen Parsons coming out of his box.
It looked like Stephen was coming out of his pit box and got into Norm as he.
They have crashed again. Our second crash of the day brings out our third caution and some big players involved.
Yeah, you can see here coming through the tri-oval, that's Stephen Parsons we're highlighting. He's pushing hard, Jake Garcia, and Jake has to back off the gas right there when Christian Eckes pulls up, and Stephen with nowhere to go. He was right on his bumper, and here they all go crashing. See Tanner Gray into it, Matt Mills.
Connor Zilich back there, right side of your screen.
Here comes playoff driver Taylor Gray and Tyler Ankrum. All these trucks spinning. I think our two playoff guys here didn't have any damage to speak of.
Yeah, Jake Garcia had no choice but to back off the throttle when Eckes pulled up in front of him, and again, Stephen had no time to react.
Look at the 17 of Gray spinning in the dirt, but getting through there. I think he's going to be fine. Let's go on board with Lane Riggs and see what he sees. This is going to be a hard wreck. Bam.
Ugh. Saw Corey Heim drive by on the grass below Lane Riggs.
Makes my bones hurt just listening to it after all these years. There's the contact from the 15 into the back of Stephen, and Stephen into the back of Jake.
Yeah, they were making up good ground till Eckes pulled out in front of him. Watch Corey Heim drive by on the inside. Looked like Ankrum got down in the grass. He spun in the grass. I don't think there was any contact with the 18 of Ankrum.
Let's watch this black truck of Brett Holmes. Look at the job he does. He's up high in the middle of the crash. Down low, barely gets through.
I'm telling you, I think Ankrum's going to be okay, guys. I don't think there's any damage.
I think it's the same for Gray, Phil. I think both of those trucks are going to be able to patch them up and go again.
It all started when Eckes pulled to the outside. Grant Enfinger actually pulled to the outside right in front of Eckes as well.
Those split-second decisions they make. Wow. Connor Zilich with
down here with Jake Garcia. Jake, you were making some moves towards the front. What happened in that one?
Yeah, you know, just the push gone wrong there. The intensity was picking up a lot there at the end, and yeah, that's super speedway racing, you know, so that's kind of that's kind of what you get when you put a bunch of trucks out there with restrictor plates going 180 miles an hour. So, you know, it's just super speedway racing. But I want to thank all my guys who had a really fast truck, ran up front all day, and you know, I want to thank Qantas Services. I want to thank Duke and Rhonda Thorson for giving me the opportunity, and I want to thank God for everything. And you know, I just really thankful for this opportunity, and just hopefully we can move on. We got 3 more races, I think, and to the end of the years.
Talk about a push gone wrong or a block that was applied a little bit late. Let's see if we can see what happens here.
I think a push by Eckes.
Yeah, I think Eckes got into the back of Sanchez. And look at that slide. Oh, Keith McGee barely slipped by the 2 of Sanchez and into another competitor.
There's another look at it. You see Enfinger pulls to the outside. And there's a push right there. Nick did his best to stay with it.
He did a great job of fighting that thing.
That's twice today that he's been involved in a crash. Now, earlier he had some contact right here, stays off of everyone, but just remarkable to execute once it gets away from you at 180 miles per hour.
See, I think it's a Daniel Dye that comes along, and watch Daniel. Oh, there was definitely contact. Turned him sideways into the grass, and he just kept with it. Great job. Great job by Daniel Dye.
Thank you for bringing us these great pictures, Daniel.
Pretty hard contact from the 28 truck right there of Keith McGee into Mason Maggio.
Look at the front of that truck.
Nick Sanchez radio.
Been using up all my lives here. Holy do anything wrong there, Derek.
1 lap to go. The next flag will end the race.
Somebody's got to pull out up in the top 5. Is it going to be Ankrum?
Yes, it is, and it's Gray.
Taylor Gray. That blue and black 17. Getting a push from the 18 of Tyler Ankrum. Top 2 starting to get away. Eckes pushing Enfinger.
Look at that outside lane. Daniel Dye trying to get engaged with Ankrum. Here comes Lawless Allen.
Lawless Allen, black 33. Enfinger trying to block. Taylor Gray goes outside. Lots of momentum there. Final time through the tri-oval. Ankrum goes around. They're crashing behind Grant Enfinger, who has won for a 2nd time in his career at Talladega Superspeedway.
Ryan Reed, the 91, significant contact. The fire fortunately extinguished itself.
Grant Enfinger gets his 2nd win at his home track, and with that, he's going back to the
all the pushing and shoving, and you knew how aggressive it was going to be. And you could see Daniel Dye at the top of the screen there pushing the 18, and right there the 18 just runs out of places to go into the back of the 17, and Danny pushed him around. But Daniel can't see what's happening ahead of him. That's just Talladega.
Yeah, you can't see through that truck that's in front of you. And the 17 of Taylor Gray lost all his momentum. We're going to see it again here. We had a great run going here, but he's going to lose his momentum. And Daniel's already pushing the 18 of Tyler Ankrum. Took a lot of good trucks with it, though. You hate to see that happen.
I think the most... Let's see what happens with Eckes is he...
See, right behind the 9. Ryan Reed trying to get him going.
His push gone bad, right, Phil?
Sure was.
Some of these finishes going to be unofficial because of the way this race ended. But right now, Daniel Dye being scored in the 3rd position.
Wow.
And Lawless Allen 5th. It would be his first career top 5. Again, those results unofficial.
See Daniel hands off the wheel, making sure he doesn't injure his wrists.
There's Ryan Reed. You saw the hard, significant contact and the fire. Has his helmet hose still hooked up.
Steve brought up a while ago with Jesse Love that maybe he was late reacting. Well, if you're listening to the spotter, as he pointed out, then you are late. You've got to drive these cars yourself and learn. That's what I see now. We have a crash over in 3.
Nick Lights in the 92 goes around and looks as though he collects a couple cars, one of those being the 27 of Jeff Burton.
That was a chain reaction wreck. That wreck started in the first 2 or 3 rows. Jesse Love made a block, got to the outside, that checked everybody up, and then these guys.
But by it gets to the 5th, 6th car, you see the 92 just has no idea they're going to come back to him that quickly. And then he goes up. Pretty big damage on the 48 of Parker Kligerman, a playoff car that needed a good run. We'll have to see just how damaged it is. Let's go on board with Jeff Burton.
Back quickly. That accordion effect.
And it's been that kind of year. So here you go. Jesse Love does nothing wrong. I want to be clear. He goes up to block this outside lane, but the rate at which they're gaining on him, contact right there. The 00 gets into 16, and now they all start checking up. Steve, you said it. It's just like a wreck on the interstate, except 3 times as fast.
A wreck at 180-plus miles an hour here at Talladega, and this time only 3 cars caught up. Nick Lights in the 92 around. Parker Kligerman caught up in there as well as Jeff Burton. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought. Shift into high gear with your chance to win an all-access Daytona 500 experience. Scan the QR code or visit NASCAR.com, and we've got a crash on the track. The 97 of Shane Van Gisbergen is involved, as well as the 19, Taylor Gray. Big damage to the front of this car coming at us.
Roll here.
The 11 of Josh Williams looks like he has been caught up also.
Yeah, you could feel this wreck coming, and a lot of drivers, the intensity picking up. Only 19 laps to go.
There's Josh Williams. We see the 19 rolling.
It starts really early and happens later, so let's watch it develop. Watch the 97 car in the middle, contact right there, and again just a bottle jam. He's on the bottom of the racetrack. 26 trying to slow down, 32 gets in the back of him. Very similar to the wreck we saw before. It just, you're behind all of it. So watch what happens with the 97. Keep your eyes just on him. The 26 behind him of Dean Thompson. So he moves up the racetrack. Dean tries to get underneath him. Contact. Puts SVG on the bottom. I think Dean Thompson's afraid that SVG is going to come back in front of him. He's starting to check up a little bit, and the guy behind him wasn't.
That's what I think is the big cause of this. Some big hits. Jeff, your point about the 26, because the 97 has enough grip. He can run the tri-oval on the apron without a problem and blend on the other side of the tri-oval. But it's the 26, the blue-nosed car right there. You see his nose. He's like either off the gas or on the brakes, and finally gets spit out of line by the car behind him, because I think the cars behind him are thinking, we're just going to leave the 97 stuck down there. Dean Thompson, not a lot of experience. He's thinking he has to leave a hole for the 97 to come back up, and the 32 just continues to push and push until finally the 26 goes around.
And that's the worst part of the racetrack. Like that part of the racetrack, there's not much banking, and when you're being pushed through that tri-oval, it is very easy to get spun around, especially on the bottom of the racetrack. There's very little grip down there.
Some big hits right there.
I've seen that picture way too many times in my life. And that's what we talk about. That's what every driver's afraid of here. Watch the 21 on the outside. He's nowhere near this wreck, having nothing to do with it. Minding his own business. Boom, there he is, gets caught up in it.
Yeah, Taylor Gray gets shot up the racetrack into that 21.
And fortunately for the 97, there were cars over there, because that was going to be...
That could have been huge.
I mean, it was already a big hit, but going all the way into the wall at that angle.
So the big one happens here at Talladega, right in the tri-oval, middle of the pack. Up we start.
Left side's less making than the right side's. That is the worst the car will drive all day. Taking a push there is never a good thing.
And then that shoots the 97 up the racetrack. Steve, as you mentioned, a couple cars up there, luckily. Otherwise, SVG would have taken a head-on collision with that outside wall. Kim, how about the 26?
Yeah, and Dean Thompson adding on the radio that he had to check up and then he was spun, kind of explaining that accident.
We've talked about the fact that there are 15 drivers that are in this field that are not full-time racers in the Xfinity Series. And Dean Thompson, this is just his second start of the year. Herbst on that outside, Allmendinger on the inside. Those two almost trading paint there as it came out of turn 4. The 20 looks like he's going to make it back to pit road, so not going to bring out a caution as long as no debris comes off the car. Herbst out in front, and the caution now comes out.
Debris,
They're saying debris.
Backstretch, lane off the bottom.
Lane off the bottom on the backstretch, which is where they're headed right now.
As soon as they drop the green flag on that restart, here's all the debris coming off the race car.
They'll take a jet dryer out there. Riley Herbst now goes to the middle to block. He's got Sammy Smith on the inside, and around they go. Carson Kvapil got tagged from the back. The 9 involved as well.
Oh, big still wrecking. Parker Kligerman's in it.
Yeah, big move there. Kligerman straight up the racetrack in big contact.
He was in it late. Cole Custer.
Custer has been trying to avoid any problems this race, and now he gets collected.
What he said, though, was, I've got oil pressure, meaning no damage right now to the oil cooler or anything like that. So if he can keep it running, keep it moving, maybe they can get it fixed up and at least clearance itself out there.
Couldn't really tell if it was just a push gone wrong or the 88 just got loose, but the 88 of Carson Kvapil gets turned left, and then just a mess. Welcome to Speedway racing.
Looked like A.J. Allmendinger got into the back of the 48, too.
Yeah, let's watch this again. Watch the 9 and the 88. So the 88's going to go left right there, and I think that was a push, Steve. I think it got a push from the 9, and when he did, it just kind of shot him to the left into the door, and then all of this happened, and now red flag is out.
Allgaier could not have a bad race here, and then he gets collected.
Yeah, watch that 88. Contact a little bit right there, and then down to the side of the car underneath him, and then up he went. It's the wreck we see over and over at Daytona and Talladega. Just somebody trying to push, and everything's not lined up exactly right.
We were riding along with the 18 of Sheldon Creed there.
Yeah, let's look further back in the pack how some of these guys got in this wreck. You know, they're all a lot of them dive to the bottom and they think they're okay. Look at Parker Kligerman. He's like, I'm good.
Until he got collected. Tagged the back of that car. It shot straight up the racetrack.
Yeah, we talk about it all day. The tri-oval cars just don't drive good through there. But this is on the straight. Big hit by Brandon Jones. Gosh. Oh. Unfortunately, the 5, Anthony Alfredo, he's done a good job all day.
Listen in to Carson Kvapil's radio.
It's pretty.
Sieg moving around.
Governmental white flag.
White flag one more time around here at Talladega.
The 8 of Sammy Smith committed to the bottom, and now here he'll be battling for the lead. A great move by the 8.
How about the move by Sieg in the 39 to get behind the 8? Oh, big push right in the middle of the corner.
Chandler Smith in the 81. What a run. Can he get past the 8? No, he doesn't. Those two side by side down the backstretch. The 98 with a big shove. He's going to try to bit by. He can't. Nowhere to go for the 27. He's up against the wall. 3 wide for third. They still stay side by side for the lead. Sammy Smith on the inside. Chandler Smith on the outside. Ryan Sieg. He gets behind the 8 for the push. Coming up on the tri-oval. Remember, the start-finish line is past the tri-oval. The 8 of Sammy Smith out in front. Now Sieg moves to the outside. At the line, it's Sammy Smith in the 8, and they wreck on the inside. Sammy Smith came in 12th in the standings. He wins his way into the next round of the playoffs.
What do you have to do to make the next round? Win. And he made it happen.
Seeing there. And DJ, it's hard to say one win validates his move from Joe Gibbs Racing to Junior Motorsports, but you've been in this situation. What can one win like this do for confidence? Oh, you never know what it's going to do here. I mean, as been pointed out, and they were talking about it in the booth, the one place that he had won before this is at Phoenix. If he can figure out
start in the Yellowwood 500, however, we have come to a slower pace. The first caution of the day, and it involves Trackhouse Racing's Daniel Suarez, the driver who had to serve a penalty, do a pass through, and then the pack caught him, Jeff.
He did, Pat. He did. The pack caught him, and instead of just going to the top or the bottom, he decided to try to go to the middle. He was trying to catch the pack so that he didn't lose it, so he didn't get lapped again. But watch right here. Everybody's getting by him. He tries to move up, and when he does, there's the 78. A BJ McLeod, and he ends up spinning himself out. That is an overreaction. Like, if that was too much being afraid of getting lapped twice. Had he gotten to the back of this pack, Steve, with as big of a turbulence I believe he could have stayed on to the back and just stayed one lap down.
That's totally on Daniel Suarez, 100%. BJ McLeod had no option right there. We talked about embracing the chaos. This is fighting the chaos. Daniel didn't do anything wrong to have to come down pit road. That's a team situation. So as a race car driver, you just have to play the hand you're dealt. We're going to see huge accidents. They're going to affect cars all day long. You just have to pick either the bottom or the top. Being kind of pulled into the pack, middle 3, is just a place you cannot be.
William Byron won the lottery. He was the first car. He got a front row view of this. Watch, the Tootsie Chevrolet is about to go right and then aggressively left, and it happens right in front of William Byron and AJ Allmendinger.
That was so close.
That's purely the pressure of the playoffs, Jeff. I believe if this is a spring race, the 99 doesn't try this move.
Yeah, and again, just to recap what he's trying to do, he wants to get in the draft so he doesn't get lapped twice. He's afraid if he goes to the back, not have the energy, summer pitting. That's going to get it back to 2 wide.
So now is a... Oh, no! Martin Truex Jr. spun around on pit entry. He's going to back up. No damage, but now they're going to have to change tires on the 19, I would imagine, after that long slide. So everyone else is going to assume take fuel only, Parker.
Right, Christopher Bell led the Toyotas down here. He will do fuel only.
Of Martin Truex Jr. spinning on entry.
That's what I'm talking about. That's one of the most experienced race car drivers we have in the field. And you can see it's just locks the rear brakes up. And now around it goes.
No practice this weekend. Just one lap of qualifying.
The playoff driver. And look at that Lucas Chevy for RCR and Kyle Busch. It's been strong again, which has been the storyline post the Olympic break. Here comes the pack into the tri-oval. Who's going to grab the points? Logano pulls out of the line. He's going for it. So too is Larson. Here comes Joey Logano with a big stomp. Boom! Ryan Blaney at the end of stage 2. Ross Chastain as well. The reigning Cup Series champ has a big one right on the line at the end of the second stage.
That is huge right there. That has major consequences to the playoffs.
Blaney said, look at what we did last weekend in Kansas to show you what we're capable of. Think about how many times we've been taken out. Daytona, Watkins Glen, Darlington. The AMR safety team. Watch the 12 in the middle. What happens? Did he get pushed by Bowman? Right at the end of stage 2. You're watching the Yellowwood 500 here at Talladega. The stage.
Yeah, Bowman with just a push trying to get to the start-finish line to get the best finish. And the cars get very light in the tri-oval. There's not as much banking there. The cars aren't planted in the racetrack, and a little bit of push, it gets just gets Blaney out of control.
And a huge impact for both the 12 of Blaney, the 1 of Chastain. Watch this and listen. Just an enormous impact to that outside safer barrier.
And watch behind this, the 22 and the 11, both playoff drivers. 22 impact, 11 also. Parker.
Right, and the 22 did get some damage.
Going to try to get around him. Todd's going to probably stay right to the bottom. This late in the race, there's no need in playing games with this.
This is what happened to AJ Allmendinger earlier. And look at that. Look at the speed of the pack. Here we go. Cindric's gone. So too is Logano. Harrison Burton's in there. LaJoy.
The whole field.
My goodness.
Something stacked everybody up on the front 2 rows. The pushes got, something happened to slow them down. Look at this mess.
With 5 to go, we got this far.
Logano's in it.
As a car, Logano went pretty early. Here's Gilliland trying to get back to it. It was Austin Cindric that was going down the backstretch facing the wrong way. LaJoy went off track, now he rejoins. Here's an interesting way to return to pit lane.
Reddick after the disappointment of Kansas. Bowman, a great run in the playoffs. He gets back to pit road to the service of his crew. The rest of this mess has to be untangled.
So, 2 of the key playoff players who got through that, Kyle Larson and William Byron.
Now who can get rolling?
That's right.
I knew something happened at the front to get everybody stacked up. Watch the bottom row. Right there. The 2 got so far out in front of the 6, and then with all the pushing and shoving, when he got to the 2 car, he was going so fast. Right here. Boom! And around he goes.
He got there, and he was also kind of moving from right to left. He wasn't, you know, it happened so quick.
Look at the push. But this is what I saw.
That's
the pushing.
right.
And the 22 was getting pushed by the 21.
Right.
The 21 was getting pushed by the car behind him. It all happened, Dick, because the 2 got out so far. And that got mixed up when they passed the lap car of Gilliland. Yeah. That changed the energy of the pack.
That was a big hit to the left side of the 47. Unbelievable. The 47 was able to keep it straight. If we watch that again, watch this 2 car right here. Gets pushed, bang, right off the 47. Stenhouse is able to keep it straight.
Look at the 9, Chase Elliott, big impact. What are you talking about? A big wreck with big ramifications for the playoffs. I mean, Austin Cindric's essentially leading this race, and if he wins it, he's advancing to the next round, and here he is crashed.
Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, they sail through. Here's the view from the 47. Oh, wow.
Logano's car, you saw it hop up in the air.
This is Chris Busch's view. Daniel Suarez was in there, Zane Smith as well. How about Chase Elliott? This isn't going to be good.
Look at all of these race cars, and I'm going to tell you One driver that's not even in this. Matter of fact, he's been done for a while. Ryan Blaney. That was a massive, potentially huge deal for him. Remember, he was crashed. He was out of this race. And all of these cars are going to have poor finishes. That is going to be a big help to Ryan Blaney.
Tyler Reddick's view. Alex Bowman's ride, and he was able to continue and get back to his pit box.
Just, you know, all the pushing and shoving, and eventually, Steve, it's more than a workout.
One great bit of news in this accident: all the cars stayed on their tires. That was a point of conversation coming here. Some changes by NASCAR. You know, wrecks are still wrecks, and I'm sure a lot of these did not feel great for the driver, but all the cars staying on their tires, a big point of focus coming here. Here you go.
So watch this. So the 2 is out, right? He's going by Todd Gilliland, who's a lap down. Now all of this energy is coming. The 6, the 22, the 21, the 14, all of those just continue to push the 6 into the 2. We talked all day, Diff, about the drivers behind not being able to see the car in front. And that is a great example right there.
A lot of cars to be retrieved. This was the view of A.J. Allmendinger in the Strive Chevy. So close. Got within 5 laps of the finish. And then the big one happened. No, the after the big one happened. That's Austin Cindric. That was the beginning of it all, and teammate Joey Logano in there, Ryan Preece, Chase Elliott, Harrison Burton, Chase Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek, Noah Gragson. The list goes on. Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jarrett on the Peacock pit box. Fellas, we got so close, got within 5 laps.
Yeah, we've both been there, I think, probably. You going along, doing everything that...
White flag out. Next flag will end the race.
Kyle Busch to the outside.
Overtime presented by Credit One Bank. Who's got the magic in these final 2.5 miles? Busch is out of it. He's been sent back. Stenhouse in the green and white machine. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Larson in the 5. We've had some dramatic finishes this year, and it's got that feeling about it again. Keselowski got bounced out of the playoffs at the last round. The Built Submarines car is in front, but for how much longer? Here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. through the tri-oval. Keselowski down low, Stenhouse high. Byron goes for it on the outside.
Good work, dude. Let's see if we get it.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins for the first time.
From Larson, but just not enough.
This is the run to the line for Keselowski. And William Byron ducks to the outside. He thought he may have had a chance right on the line as well. Look at this for a finish. At the end of a very dramatic day here at Talladega.
Yeah, so watch this right here. Kyle Larson pushes Brad Keselowski, pushes him to the lead. At this point, Brad has a decision to make. What am I going to do? Am I going to block or not? He puts no defense to the 47, gives the 47 a clear path. I thought he was going to get by with it here. I thought his patience was going to pay off, but it just simply doesn't. Not enough push from Larson to get him back in the lead.
Well, remember the spring. It was a block between McDowell and Keselowski that caused the big wreck and eliminated both. I don't